Where do I begin? Oh, let's get the spotlight on. Bam, there. Where do I begin? Well, we can start out with Turkey Drag. That was an amazing show. That was really cool. Don't think I've been to a show quite that large. I don't think ever. I mean, I've been to some good shows, but I don't think I've been to one that big. They had over 1,000 vehicles, and from just any kind of vehicle you can pretty much think of. I mean, even all the way to side-by-sides, golf carts, super lifted, super lowered, rat rod, muscle cars, everything is there. What's really cool is in the center of the whole campground, there's a big, huge playground so your kids can go play. It's very friendly environment. I didn't see a whole lot of, people I actually didn't see anybody flashing. I didn't see anybody naked. It is an absolute family event where you can sit around the fire and have a good time and bullshit with your friends and have your kids there and just, really, really good time. I absolutely suggest Turkey Drag. For a more wild style, I would definitely go to Sparks. If it's just you and you're going to leave the kids at home and you want to get as wild as you want to be, it's Sparks in the Ozarks. Let's talk about this weekend. This weekend, we are going to try to do as much as possible. Just like you guys, I have been watching my own videos of the Toyota build so I can familiarize myself again with everything that's involved with being able to get the truck bagged, because this truck is no different. Really, the big difference is that it's got an automatic transmission and it's an extended cab. So when it comes to the rear, I'm not sure. I haven't ever looked underneath an extended cab. I know a Mazda extended cab can have a 2-piece drive shaft, which makes it nice because the carrier bearing is at the rear. If the extended cab Toyota is the same, then it's going to have a carrier bearing at the rear, which that is, you don't have to cut out anything because the drive shaft goes from the back of the cab to the axle, and so it just moves right there at the back, and you don't have to worry about it. So what we're going to be working on is the front. When I unloaded it after Turkey Drag, I pulled it straight into the parking spot. It's going to sit there for the next 4 months. We're not going to be driving it. This weekend, what we're doing is we are pulling the whole front cap off. The pretty much the headlights, the grill, the bumper, the valance at the bottom. We're pulling the right and left front fenders off. We're going to get it up on blocks. We're going to get it ready to be able to mess with that. We'll probably end up taking the front rims off just because for now. We're going to go ahead and, if possible, I'd like to be able to pull the torsion bars off because we're not going to need those anymore. So we pull the torsion bars off and start getting all the stuff that's on the fender wells, on the ender fenders. When you open up the hood and on the right and left, right there, we're going to be taking all that stuff and trying to find a new place for it, start moving stuff around, start looking at the wiring, trying to get that squared and moved out of the way. I know there's a wiring harness that goes through the driver's side fender that needs to be moved all the way to the top. So yeah, there's a lot that I'd like to get done this weekend. This weekend's supposed to be in the 50s, which is still, it's quite cool, but it's not going to be raining. The following weekend, right now, there's a chance of rain. So I don't know how significant that's going to be for the following week, so I need to get as much done as I can this weekend. I do believe my wife works, so I need to look at the schedule just to make sure, because if she works, then it's just going to be me and Kathleen out there working on whatever we can get done. Like I said, we're going to get the battery out. We're going to get almost all of the intake stuff. That's all going to go, because when we get this back together, it's like $35 for the cold air intake kit, which actually what that does, it's not necessarily cold air. I mean, they've always said cold air intake, but really by the time it goes through the engine compartment, it's warm air or sometimes even hot air during the summer. So all it is more of a straight shot fresh air coming through. But we need that because we need to get rid of the air box. That's got to go, and all the extra pieces that cross over to the throttle body, all that's got to go. That way it'll clean up the engine compartment, make it look a little bit better, and give us more room underneath that air filter, the cone air filter that's on the end of the cold air intake. It'll only be a cone air filter, and then the air box underneath it leaves room for that whole fender's worth of stuff to go up front into that pocket underneath the air filter. So that's why that needs to be moved. And then everything over on the passenger side, you've got the battery, you've got the fuse box, and you've got a couple other little things right there. If anybody remembers what did I do with the fuse box on the last Toyota? Anybody? I think one of you got it. We put it in the front against the fender wall next to the battery. The battery basically just ended up, say this is the front of the truck and here is the passenger side, and we slid the battery over, and then the fuse box went right in between that and the fender. So that's we're going to be moving that to there hopefully, and then everything else that's on that fender, trying to get it relocated and remounted into a different position. It's going to be a whole lot to do, but if I can knock all this out, that means I stand a chance to get the front end bagged on one of the next weekends that I can work with it, because I've already got the upper bag mounts and the bottom bag mount. Now, I'm not going to use the upper and lower control arms that come with it. I know you guys still haven't even seen those, but those are not going to get used right away because I know how to bag it without those. Those can be an upgrade for later if I don't sell them. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get everything the next weekend that I can. I want to cut out all of the suspension bump stops and things that we don't need in there. That'll be one of the main things, and then getting it all ground down. I think that'll be one weekend to cut all that out, grind it all down, smooth it all out, and get it prepped and ready for another weekend when I can get the bags and the upper and lower bag mount and get it placed in there and positioned. I also need to order the push to connect fittings for the 1/4 inch line, and then that way that'll go. But this weekend, pretty much the whole front clip, fenders, put all that away. Torsion bars got to come out and hopefully move everything out of the way of the inner fenders and then cut the inner fenders out. If I can get all that done in one weekend, man, that will be a hell of a jump. So wish me luck for this weekend, and I think that's it. I can't think of anything else that I want to really stretch this out on. I did a whole lot of talking, but that's what we're going to do. So again, thumbs up. We're going to get this fucking truck bagged. We are going to get this bagged. We are going to represent our club, which is Freaks of Nature. And we are going to show that we can get this done in 4 months. 4 fucking months, people. Please stick around. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you're watching this for the first time, subscribe. It's going to be a hell of a journey if I can get this done in 4 months, because the last truck, I was watching the videos. 2 fucking years it took me to bag that truck. Let's see. I'm almost at 10-minute mark. Comment at the bottom. Think I can do it? Think I can't? Who's betting against me? Who's betting for me? Talk to you guys on the next video this weekend. Later.